Hi, this is Uma and welcomes you to my channel Asserted Data. In this video, we are going to talk about machine learning basics. So what is ML? ML is a subset of AI. AI is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science. It simulates the intelligent behavior of human beings in supercomputers. ML is a subset. It is a technology that can able to learn and think without explicit programming. The word explicit programming is much important. So we need not to code everything here like a rule-based conventional programs. So ML understands patterns from the data and able to build augmented intelligence from experience. So when you are deploying some ML algorithm, so it will do the particular task and it acquires knowledge while doing that task. When that ML is going to perform in near future, it is going to use that experience to enhance the current task. And DL is a specialized subset of ML. It is a layered neural network architecture. It simulates the human decision making process. So what's the need for ML? Why we have to use machine learning algorithms? Machine learning algorithms automate the decision making process and it adds the potential value to the business. So in today's world, whatever business we are doing, it generates a lot of data. So machine learning algorithm leverages that big data and it helps the business leaders to understand the subtle changes in the behaviors. So if they understand what environment changes, so that they can able to devise the better strategies to improve the customer satisfaction. So basically ML adds value to business. That's more important. So ML algorithms provides revenue based advantages. There are four basic types in machine learning algorithms. Supervised learning is a simplest type. Here, the data set is provided with the response. The response is the target. For example, if we are developing a machine learning model to detect the spam mails, for this process, first we should give the spam emails. We should name what are all emails are the spam and what are all emails are the normal. So now we are having a variable which contains the spam and which contains a normal. So algorithm will able to identify which are all spam and which are not spam from the given labeled data. So it is like a feedback learning. The algorithm gets feedback from the target, from the labeled target. And these type of algorithms are used for classification problem and regression problem. So we will talk in detail about what is classification problem and regression problem in later. Next type of algorithm is unsupervised learning. Here we don't provide any target variable. The algorithm is going to learn a pattern from the given data. So this type of algorithms is used for dimensionality reduction. If you are giving a large data and most of the data is a redundant data. So unsupervised learning is basically developed for dimensionality reduction and clustering problems. Here the important point here, we don't give any labeled response here. And third type of learning is reinforced learning. It's a semi-supervised learning and it learns from trial and error method. The in those algorithms also get the feedback and the feedback is from analysis process. So first it will do the prediction and if that prediction is correct, then the algorithm will be rewarded. and if that prediction is fails, then the algorithm will be penalized. So it's like a trial and error method. So this is it gets the feedback from the analysis, prediction analysis itself. So it is a reinforced learning, and this type of learning is used for developing AI-based games. And fourth type of algorithm is deep learning algorithm. Deep learning is nothing but it's a stacked layered neural network architecture. It's a mimic of human beings. And this type of algorithm shows advantages in unstructured data. The unstructured data in the sense the data can be a music, or it can be image, or it can be video. It need not to be in a structured like a Excel format or a CVS format, etc. So this type of algorithms are very much suited for unstructured data. So far it is okay to know about what is ML and why it is required and what are the types. Those are all theoretical information. Now, how to use the ML, right? ML basically adds revenue value to our business. So first we need to understand customers' business requirement. For example, for a multinational company, HR department is huge, and they are generating big data every year about the employees' information. For them, the analytics of HR data itself a bigger problem because of its dimension. So if they are if our customer requires a HR analytics with the ML, then it it turns into the data problem. So first requirement in ML chain, we need to understand what is the business requirement and how to convert that business requirement into your machine learning problem. So in this example, the HR analytics model is a machine learning problem. So this model may be used to predict whether an employee is going to be promoted or not. So this ML ensures the unbiased appraisal in a huge multinational company. And next one is, if you are converting a business requirement into a data problem, then we need data to solve that problem. So here the data can be collected in two formats. One is structured data, another one is unstructured data. In the previous example, like a HR analytic model, here the employee details will be in a structured format, like what is the employee name and when they are joined, whether what is the gender, what is the age, everything is given in a column, tabular format. So it is a structured format. And now take another example. If you are going to generate OTT format, here we need to show the movies based on the customer's preferences. So for this, first we need to understand what movies the customer prefer to watch most. So here the preferences will be based on customer survey, right? And we need to identify what are all the movies are watched so many times. So here the data will be unstructured format. The data may be in like movies or like images or music. So here the data is unstructured. So first we need to understand the business requirement and to convert that into a data problem, and we need to understand what type of data we required so that we can solve that problem. And the next step is exploratory data analysis. So here in usual cases, the data will be collected by someone else and the machine learning model will be developed by someone else. So here the ML expert first needs to understand what is the data given to them, right? So for this, the data visualization tools comes into handy. So we need to understand what type of data it is, what are the variables in that data. Everything we need to understand that. For that, there are a lot of tools available for data visualization. And once you are visualized your data and you came to know there are some values are missing. In the previous example, if you are going to develop a recommender system, and definitely you need to take a survey. In that, most of the customers won't answer for certain questions. So that time, that particular entries will be missing, right? So the missing data handling is very much important in machine learning model development. So we need to understand whether the lot of data are missing. If it is missing, how to deal with it. So this is comes under data pre-processing. And another important hurdle in machine learning model development is outliers. So what do you mean by outliers? So for example, if you are having a age in a age group in your survey, and you have taken the survey in youth, that means from 16 to 25 years, and some of the entries may be in 60s or 70s, and most of the entries will be from 16 to 25. So in that group, some values are falls under that category, then those values are called as outliers. So if your data contains many outliers, then it is going to affect the prediction performance of machine learning algorithms. So we need to handle that outliers also. For that, data transformation techniques are used. So these data visualization and data pre-processing comes into the exploratory data analysis. Once we understood our data and we have pre-processed our data, then the next process in ML development is feature engineering. So what do you mean by features? The features are the predictors. Like for example, if I'm going to develop the HR analytics model, there the employee name, what are all data will be given to me. There should be an employee name column, and there should be a age of employee and gender, and what are the salary, basic salary, and what are our other allowances, what are the skills skills obtained from that employee. There are so many details will be there. These details are called as features. So in some time, my name of the employee may be like a first name, salutations may be given in the name itself. Then I need to extract that salutation so that I can understand whether that employee is married or not. Based on that, I may give the insurance policies, everything, right? So here I need to extract more information from the available information. This extraction of more information is known as features. So here the feature engineering contains two processes. One is feature extraction, another one is feature selection. The next process in ML development is ML model selection and training. And there are a lot of ML models are available, and we need to select the appropriate model for our data set. There are two methods. Structural risk minimization, it is based on a parameter. So how to select a model based on a parameter. The parameter may be a learning rate, or it can be polynomial structures, etc. We'll talk that in detail in later videos. And second method is validation. This validation is a widely used method, and here the data set is going to be split into three subsets. One is training set, validation set, another one is test set. We'll talk that in detail while developing our ML algorithm. And next process is test the model. Here for model assessment, there are certain terminologies are there, like sensitivity, selectivity, or mean square error. So these parameters are used to evaluate how our prediction model performs. And last step is deploy the model. Once we have developed our model and tested it, then we need to deploy into the customer environment. So this deployment is nothing but integrating our model into the production environment. Hi guys, we came to end of this video, and in next videos we are going to learn how to code each of these steps. And if you find this as useful for you, please subscribe my channel Esoteric Data and share it and comment it. We'll see you in next videos. Thank you.